In 1913, the Romanov dynasty ruled over the vast Russian Empire. They were one of the wealthiest and most powerful royal families in human history. But behind this golden facade lay a dark, looming shadow. Grigory Rasputin, a mysterious mystic, had infiltrated the innermost circle of the royal family. Soon, the tides turned. World War I in public fury tore the 300-year-old empire apart, forcing Tsar Nicholas II to abdicate his throne. The family was exiled to a remote, bleak house in Siberia, the Ipatiev House, chillingly renamed by communist rebels as the House of Special Purpose. In the quiet darkness of their captivity, the Grand Duchesses wrote of fear and fading hope in their secret diaries, unaware of how little time they had left. During his final nights, a defeated Nicholas II sat alone, reflecting on his past mistakes and a fallen empire from which there was no return. Outside, communist Bolshevik guards patrolled the boarded-up windows day and night, cutting the family off from any hope of rescue or the outside world. In their final photographs, the visible strain of terror washed over their faces. The lavish royal garments were now replaced by plain, ordinary clothes. The mastermind behind this sinister operation was Yakov Yurovsky, a ruthless Bolshevik commander, determined to wipe the Tsar and his bloodline from history. On the fateful night of July 16, 1918, Yurovsky gathered his execution squad, ordering them to prepare their revolvers and rifles for a secret mission. At midnight, the sleeping family was abruptly awakened and told that local unrest forced them to move to the safety of the basement room. The Tsar, his wife, their 4 daughters, their young son, and a few loyal servants slowly walked down the cold, dimly lit stone staircase. They were packed into a small, bare basement room lit by a single, harsh light bulb. The family remained completely unaware of the horror about to unfold. Unknown to the guards, the young princesses had secretly sewn millions of dollars worth of diamonds and precious jewels into the lining of their corsets. Suddenly, 11 armed men burst into the room. Yurovsky read the death sentence, and before the Tsar could even react, an absolute inferno of gunfire erupted. The small room instantly filled with deafening noise, thick white gunsmoke, and flying plaster as bullets flew blindly in every single direction. But when the smoke began to clear, the executioners were horrified to find that the young princesses were still alive, miraculously unhurt by the initial bullets. The hidden diamonds had acted as a makeshift bulletproof vest. Shocked, the ruthless soldiers advanced with bayonets to brutally finish the grim task. In a matter of minutes, the centuries-old royal bloodline was completely decimated, leaving nothing but smoke, blood, and a shattered imperial crown on the floor. To cover up this shocking crime, the soldiers quietly loaded the heavy bodies into the back of a military truck and drove out into the pitch-black night. They drove deep into the dense, desolate Koptuaki forest, where they dug a shallow, hidden pit to dump the remains of the royal family. Fearing discovery, the soldiers initially threw the bodies into a swampy marshland before panicking and moving them to a secondary, more permanent grave. To completely erase their identities, Yurovsky poured sulfuric acid over the bodies, burning their faces beyond recognition before covering them with dirt. While the forest swallowed the gruesome secret, back in the cities, the Soviet Red Army looted the royal palaces, stripping away centuries of art and gold. Soon, a wild rumor spread across the globe. Whispers claimed that the Tsar's youngest daughter, Anastasia, had somehow miraculously escaped the basement massacre alive. Over the next few decades, several mysterious women emerged across the world, each boldly claiming to be the lost Romanov princess Anastasia. The most famous claimant was Anna Anderson, who fought into her dying breath to prove her royal identity, convincing thousands of believers worldwide. For generations, international newspaper headlines fueled the enduring mystery, asking if a sole survivor of the Romanov dynasty was walking among them. Meanwhile, the grand imperial throne of Russia sat empty, draped in dust and heavy shadows, a haunting symbol of a permanently fallen empire. The Romanovs' royal relatives, including the King of England, launched quiet search operations across Europe, but they continually hit dead ends. When King George V of England received confirmation of the brutal executions, he was consumed by guilt for denying his cousin's political asylum. Decades passed, and the dense Russian wilderness held its breath, guarding the dark secret of the mass grave hidden beneath the forest floor. Then came modern forensic science. In the 1990s, scientists decided to use cutting-edge DNA testing and genetic sequencing to solve the century-old mystery. At the hidden excavation site, forensic teams carefully brushed away the earth, uncovering skeletal remains, personal artifacts, and old spent bullet casings. The DNA from the bones was extracted and meticulously compared against living royal relatives, bringing the ultimate, undeniable truth to light. The forensic reports conclusively shattered the myths. Not a single member of the family, including Anastasia, had survived that horrific night in July. In 1998, 80 years after their death, the remains of the Romanov family were finally given a formal, state-recognized burial in St. Petersburg. Today, the Russian Orthodox Church has officially canonized the entire Romanov family, elevating them to the sacred status of saints and holy martyrs. The family that was once brutally executed in darkness is now remembered by millions who light candles and pray before their gilded icons. On the exact site of the basement massacre, the Grand Church on Blood now stands a permanent monument to the tragedy that shocked the world.